Question of what we can do about Obamacare now that it has passed seems to be on everyone's mind. Joining us now is one of the good people in Congress, Representative Michele Bachman from Minnesota's 6th District, who has written a bill to repeal this legislation. Representative Bachman, welcome back to the Savage Nation.
Hi, Michael. Thanks so much for having me on today.
What's your idea here?
Well, people want to know what are we going to do to respond to this government takeover of the health care system. I was the first person on the House of the floor of Representatives with H.R. 4903. That's the complete repeal of Obamacare. Tea Party groups from all across the United States are coming together on Wednesday, April 7th, in Minneapolis and Minnesota, coming together for the purpose of saying they're going to stand behind this launch of repealing Obamacare here in Minnesota. We're having a big rally on Wednesday with about 10,000 people. We're so excited because we think this is the time, this is the moment, and this is our rallying cry to repeal Obamacare. And it's just a few short months to get to November, and we can't wait for that launch here in Minnesota.
Well, those on the left can't be happy with this or with you.
Well, of course, I think that what the left wants all of us to do is just go away. They want us to be quiet and say, accept this. A lot of people on the left have said, look, President Obama won the election. You're forced to accept this. Just because the president won the election in 2008 doesn't mean that we're serfs and we have to accept whatever President Obama and his majority have put into place. We're the people. We own this country. And so what we're deciding is that we don't like the fact of the government taking over more and more of the private economy. So we're coming against it. We're resisting. And that's why my bill, 4903, we're going forward with to actually repeal Obamacare. So we need to take a conservative constitutional majority in the House, one in the Senate, do that this fall, and then 2 years from now we'll have a new president in place that respects the Constitution, and we will take this bill, H.R. 4903, and we'll repeal Obamacare. It's entirely possible. So we want people to get excited. Tea Party groups are coming together in Minneapolis to have the kickoff. We're having a big rally with Sarah Palin, and we're just excited to let the United States know we're going to start here in Minnesota, a state that has voted Democrat more than any other state, longer than any other state. We're going to plant the flag of conservatism here in Minnesota, and we're going to start and shout for joy here in Minnesota.
You're one of the biggest targets for Pelosi and the Dems, right?
I'm one of the top targets for the Democrats to defeat this fall. People could go to my website, michelebachman.com. They can view the big rally on my website. I'd love to have them donate to my campaign if they'd be willing to do that. Speaker Pelosi has her sights set on me to make sure that I'm defeated. But with the help of your listeners, we won't let her dreams come true. So we're excited about that, too, and that's this Wednesday, April 7th.
Well, how has the reaction been from the people in your district?
I think people are very excited. People are very afraid about this government takeover of the private economy. Healthcare isn't the only thing that government has taken over. As you know, government has taken over car companies, Chrysler, GM, large banks, small banks. They've taken over the largest insurance company in the United States, the whole student loan industry. Federal government now owns 50% of all private home mortgages in this country. If you add it all together, 51% of the private economy is now owned or controlled by the federal government. The American people don't want that. They want government to get out of private business and get back to what they do, and that's just level the playing field so we can all have a fair shake at our future. We agree with that. And so what we're trying to do is to undo all of this government takeover of the private economy. And to do that, we need to slam the brakes on socialism that President Obama has given to this country and then ensure that he's a one-term president. So we are planting the flag this week in Minnesota for freedom, and we are trying to do everything we can to make sure that we start with turning back and repealing Obamacare.
You think people are waking up to what Obama has actually done?
There's no question in my mind that the silent majority is not only awake, their eyes are popping out of their heads saying, not with my country, you don't. And so what we've seen is that now for the first time, Republicans are ahead of Democrats by 9 points on the generic ballot. And also President Obama has his lowest approval ratings and strongest disapproval ratings ever. I don't see that changing. The administration is saying, looking forward, they're looking at increased levels of unemployment, certainly not a big decrease in unemployment. The private sector is afraid right now to expand or grow because of all of the government takeovers and the tax increases that are out there. And now President Obama is talking about amnesty for illegal aliens, more takeover of the K-12 education system. This isn't the direction the country wants to go. And a lot of businessmen see huge tax increases on the horizon, so they aren't looking at expanding. We can do so much better than this, and that's why I firmly believe that there will be a shock at the polls this November. And we are starting here in Minnesota. We're saying we're not waiting. We're going to start now to plan for the victories that we need to have in November to turn our country around.
Where can we read more?
I think you've got it all, other than to say, for people who want to get more information and help out with this effort, please go to MicheleBachman.com. That's Michele with one L, Bachman with two N's, MicheleBachman.com. Please help me with my reelection, but also go there to get more information on H.R. 4903, which is to repeal Obamacare. Sign up, be part of this great movement to get rid of Obamacare.
Congresswoman Michele Bachman, thanks again for being on the Savage Nation.
Michael, thanks again so much for letting me be on your show. You're the greatest friend